He is against Damwon. I mean, Prince did play.
Yes.
He was substitute for Nuclear. You know, a couple of years ago before he went over to FPX, I believe. I don't know whether that was exactly the transition, but it was about that. Prince has sort of always been around. He had a few different names.
Is a really interesting choice. You're going to look for more hard lockdown and more CC. It works well with the Alistar, the ball carry. It works well with Alistar's engage options as well. But you
Put the screws in on this top side.
They were making a play top side.
Yeah, Grand Entrance is good as they do find effort. The Unbreakable Will does come down, but they're looking to try and get through it. Bladewell gets a lot of value against Ghost, who flashes in and grabs the first blood. Now Prince looking to try and turn it onto Canyon, but he just books it out of there. And the Graves is going to put down Shelly on the top side of the map. Prince looks like he was still trying to chase after, but now Khan is going to have to vacate. Does have the ulti if he does need to make a quick getaway, but first turret blood will go over to Liz Sandbox in trade for the first blood that was picked up by Damwon Kia. That's an exhaust on to Summit though, is Khan trying to escape this one. I don't think he's going to be able to, as Meganar is going to come in if Summit needs it. He doesn't though. Canyon's going to trade this, grabs himself, setting himself up as well as Fate slightly zoned out by the Scion. Showmaker getting into position. We'll see whether the Scatter the Weeks actually work, as there's the Gnar onto Canyon, who has to flash to get himself out of the way. Shirley, not even, oh, she does reset. Out of patience at the very end as now it's going to be Khan that does find On Fleek. Gets snared up there just a little bit as Beryl in with the quickness, but doesn't even really need it. And that is going to be a very dead Graves. Prince is going to buy some time on the bottom side for himself.
This team comp is so sticky for Damwon.
Sorry again.
It's all right.
Well, no train available as Shirley going to act as a bit of a deterrent here for Liv Sandbox, who I don't think should put on that much emphasis on this, as Effort is going to interrupt the decimating smash, but he just gets exploded. Popped like a balloon. Beryl gets out of there, has to flash to escape the shockwave, and now Canyon looking to try and tank as much as he can. Gets the heal from Ghost and escapes. Khan is just an immovable object in the front line. He gets walloped though. Can they actually focus him down? As there's the flash, decimating smash. Showmaker off to the side, getting zoned out by the rest of Liv Sandbox. A big old Nara's Khan continues to stay alive, but there finally the trigger is pulled by Prince. Whirls the blades around and they lock down Ghost as well. Showmaker finds the backside as On Fleek is going to be taken out. And now Damwon Kia look to try and escape this one. Summit gets over to the side. Canyon at about 300 health. And Damwon Kia looking to escape. It was a one fight for Liv Sandbox, as Summit looking to continue it here by the looks of things.
Roam around the map. You're going to force teleports out. You're going to
here's the quickness. Yeah, Bladewell not going to save you here, as Beryl's going to lock that one down himself. And they'll take the inner turret as well. Damwon, I mean, we've spoken about this. Like, you drew the comparison between, you know, the old SKT back when they were absolutely obliterating people and it felt chinny chin chin. As now you can see Canyon moving on in. On Fleek has to flash to get out of the pit, and Canyon just books it and says, all right, job done. Effort now over to the side. Beryl very, very low still, but sticking around. On Fleek gets into the pit, but it's Scion that locks down the Cloud Soul, and now the fight is on. Beryl still with no health in the backline, but it is going to be Liv Sandbox that find themselves the fight. And even though they have some lower health bars, they are going to be able to get a couple of kills on the bottom lane of Damwon Kia. Looking for the Pulverize, gets on into 2-4, that shockwave from Fate is massive, and Showmaker burns to death. The Scion grabs the Samira though, they don't have a lot of damage now as Ghost is untouched, but it's a huge Gnar into the backline and Ghost is eradicated. Khan and Canyon, the two tanky boys trying to do what they can. They might be able to escape actually, because of course, you know, Udyr runs extraordinarily quickly. Khan maybe not going to be quite so lucky as he does flash his way to get underneath this turret, but it looks like Liv Sandbox have won the fight, although
they can't.
It should have been
into.
Oh, we drifting. He finds both of them. Shockwave does collect a couple, but the quickness and Grand Entrance combo is too good. And despite the last team fight, despite the heroics from this mid laner, he is just going to be taken down by this swerving train.
I mean, Canyon is like a
Korean level train, not an Australian level train. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm waiting 3 minutes for mine, not 20, you know? As this Baron is absolutely dead. The Elder
on everybody.
This was sick. Look at this. How?
Okay. Well, you can't be here.
What? How does he get around?
This is what, you know, K-Drill and Chronicle would call illegal.
Yes.
You're not allowed to be there. Not allowed. It's done.
That's what he needs.
I mean, I'd be down for it. What's he getting?
He now has a Randuin's Omen, so...
boring!
I mean, it's boring, but now he's going to join the Unkillable Club.
What's he trying to do, win?
Well, think of that about the slowy circles, you know? Like, he goes in, his chem tank goes off, one slowy circle. Presses his Randuin's, another slowy circle. And then he sprints out, and the slower your opponent is, the faster you are relatively, right? And so that theoretically makes him even faster. So I think it's okay. Fits the theme, as that's a hula hoop. Okay. Finds that one, unfortunately. For a bit of real damage as in goes Ghost. What the heck was that? The quickness finds the backline. 4 members from Beryl. I take it all back. He dies, but it was beautiful. Samira is now dead. Canyon's boofing people left, right, and center. And Damwon Kia found the team fight finally. They lock up Fate. He's over the wall, but Canyon's there. He is taking a bit of real damage right now. It's a triple kill for the Nah. And in fact, Damwon Kia do not find
that
it.
Was
yes,
insanely.
Khan stays alive, but I was too busy focusing on the dang Udyr instead of focusing on Liv Sandbox winning the fight. Yes, their base is destroyed, but they are still in it.
I mean, Liv Sandbox, it's going to be hard for them to take this Drake right now, as Khan is just going to continue to harass here. This is really frustrating to deal with. They do have a teleport, though. Summit? He should be fine. But this is Damwon Kia just, I mean, that fight was just very sloppy. It's almost like they were just trying to dash across the finish line in this game. And I mean, we saw the Ghost all-in come through, but they didn't have enough damage there in that fight. And
extra time to try and get through Canyon and Khan if they actually stick around, as now it's Liv Sandbox's turn to get on top of this Baron. Canyon in the area, doesn't have flash and not going to be able to make it into this pit on time, as now he's booking it, trying to escape, but he's not going to be able to. And it's the Nah that grabs the kill. You can see inhibitors have been taken down once again. We've got pings.
Yeah, they moved. He didn't have vision of where Liv Sandbox were. Khan didn't, so he thought he could stop the back, so maybe they could win the game. Either way, this is still win for Damwon.
Whoa, Summit found him, caught up to...
They have a chance to win this game.
Well, 15 seconds until that Syndra is back up again, as now Effort going in with that headbutt. Ghost is going to be the one we need to look at, as Fate doesn't find the shockwave. Ghost now tries to get the big damage, but there's no Nah stun into the wall. Ghost is frontlining for some reason, but does manage to get down into that GA. He pops back up. Khan has a shield the size of Narnia, and Ghost stays in there. A double kill now. Summit's dead. The Inferno trigger will not find it, and it's a quadra kill for Ghost to finish off this game.
What an incredible end to what was an insanely fun game, Alice. 44 minutes here of absolute hilarity across the board. Wow, and that's the end of it. Ghost survives long enough in that fight, and finally he lives long enough to do the damage they couldn't do in the previous fight. And Damwon Kia, what a meme of a game that we just watched there. But they
towards the top side. So, Aatrox versus Gragas is what it's going to be about.
Yeah, and I mean, this is totally fine, patiently and safely around the river. Once again,
there's a Hex Flash as we... Oh no, the Dredge Line misses, and immediately the Kai'Sa explodes. It's first blood, and it goes over to Beryl, who is having a cathartic experience as the Encore lands onto the Azir, but unfortunately it misses Canyon, and another kill, one after the other. Phalanx, and they should be able to take some control as there's the Magnet Storm. Dredge Line is decent onto the backside, and it is actually a steal away of the Herald. The Nautilus will fall, however, a lot of the damage still available here for Liv Sandbox. Khan trying to kite this one out as it's a double kill for Prince, but the Emperor's Divide is massive. That being said, Summit, oh no! That's not what you wanted out of Showmaker. Flashes into a body slam, and now Khan's going to be swept up, and Liv Sandbox find the initial team fight.
Very well played here from Liv Sandbox. The power of Seraphine as well showing through here. Like, Seraphine has shield, she has slow.
Team composition. And that can be really dangerous, as Shelly's going to do a bit of a headbutt here, as there's a Magnet Storm from Beryl, but he's likely to fall down. On Fleet gets into the backline, will get swept underneath the inner turret and taken down. So slightly overly aggressive, and yeah, the turret fortification working out very, very well, as too many people piling underneath, and unfortunately, that tower wasn't going to be going down. Ghost actually getting even plates on the bottom side of the map. Yeah, so that was a big win for Damwon.
Absolutely a huge win for Damwon. A little bit of an overextension there from On Fleek. I mean, I think, you know, going back to the sunk cost fallacy type idea.
Pretty soon. See whether he does that. Leandri's now completed. As you can see, now Damwon Kia looking for an opportunity once again. The flash in from Canyon looking for Prince. There's a Killer Instinct. On Fleek moving his way over as well. And have they bitten off more than they can chew? Oh, Ghost able to pick that one up with the Buster Shot at the very end. Now Khan looks for Summit. The chains do not bind. Now Beryl over the wall. Summit feels like he may have found
Beryl.
And he does so, yeah. That's a crash down that ain't going to work. Magnet Storm comes in, and now Summit, who's trapped in where with who, as now Ghost finds the auto. Summit pulled back by the Infernal Chains, and that's the big front line now removed. Effort finds a dredge line onto Khan, and Khan not too worried about it. The Azir nowhere in sight. As Liv Sandbox now having to try and defend this outer turret. Beryl still very, very low as in goes Effort once again. I don't know whether he necessarily wanted to, though, as Khan pretty happy to tank up this turret. Ghost needs to be a little bit careful going overly aggressive for this outer turret can spell disaster.
They really want to
use it to bolster their morale rather than fall victim to it. As I say it, I cast curse the heck out of Effort, who will be just taken down. Canyon stops Fate from getting on in there and just immediately gets smashed back into Liv Sandbox. Summit, my god, he's having the series of his life right now as he does find the pickoff. But the rest of Damwon still pushing on forward, and they will be able to secure the outer turret. But very high. In goes Beryl, finds track repel onto 4. 3-man Emperor's Divide as well, but they need to make sure that they secure these kills. Effort's going to go down first, and there goes Prince, as now the cavalcade of Damwon Kia is going to head forward. That beat drop was pretty damn sick from Fate, but unfortunately, the rest of his friends are dead.
Yep, that's the, I mean, it's like I cast her curse. I'm like, look at all the engage tools they have. You know, if they didn't have an Azir, they'd be out of trouble, but if you have the perfect Magnet Storm fight there with the follow-up from the Azir, like, that's all it takes. You can't group up against that.
Participation as well. He's making things happen after what was a pretty forgettable experience on the Rakan. As we're going to see another fight. The Encore lands just onto Beryl, though, who soaks so much damage. He's still alive, by the way. Effort is going to be booped away. Beryl eventually does fall, is in the back line. Onfleek's taking matters into his own hands. The Acathian Rain lands down onto Ghost, who gets over the wall and says goodbye to the horsey and will survive. He should be all right. Summit going to get chained.
The choke point, though.
And there we go. Khan's going to have to flash his way out. Okay, Beryl diving on him once again. Another decent Magnet Storm, as if this fight keeps going, it's going to be well and truly in favor of Liv Sandbox. Look at the health bars. They're barely even going down. Prince locks him down, but there goes Showmaker. Finds the Emperor's Divide. Is it going to be enough, though, is going to be the question as Fate goes golden in the back line. Onfleek has to get the heck out of there. Showmaker was untouched for so long, as now Summit's trying to escape. The Sand Soldiers are trying to be the entire team for Damwon Kia. And in the end, it is a 3-for-3.
Damwon Kia turning that one around just barely. Well, the members they have surviving, they are going to be able to turn this into that soul, the Cloud Soul, which was
party cast. Yeah, exactly. Only really gets Showmaker out of the fight as Summit's going to get closed in on. Dredgeline does absolutely nothing, as now the Rel goes in. The Magnet Storm is massive. The ulti from the Hecarim's decent, but look, everyone has the Grievous Wounds. There's the Emperor's Denial, actually, onto Liv Sandbox, and another pentakill for Ghost. How many times does this guy need to wrap up team fights? And Damwon Kia will win the game.
Oh, he's going to wrap up tonight in a big present. Here, there's no minions, so this looks a little bit silly. But as they arrive, your Damwon Kia will be able to finish off this turret. Beryl! Okay, he's fine.
He's going to be okay in the end.
Well, I mean, there you have it. Really bad task, I have to say, for Summit. Like, I don't want to be too critical of this guy after a pretty fantastic 2 games. But the cast there was very weak, and it would have helped. It would have been huge for them if he actually had held that going into the last part of the fight. But Damwon Kia had too much damage.
Yeah. And Ghost, great positioning. Rocket Jump Flash was really cute right there, as we could see. But got the resets, got the repositions. And we were talking about the fact that this composition for Liv Sandbox would empower